Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be talking about a legacy support in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And how I hope Konami continues to do what they're currently doing with legacy support. Now, I've been noticing this over the last year or so, and especially with the legendary duelist sets that we've been getting since I think it was September of this past year, you kind of have noticed sort of a change in the way Konami is producing legacy support. Which I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about my hopes and dreams for some random obscure archetypes that I would like to really see some legacy support for. And the key word for this video, as I discuss about cards and decks, is they're not uberly broken. They're not the top tier decks of the format, but they're a deck I can build for fun, take to locals, have some fun playing the deck. That's all I want. That's all I care about. If I want to go play meta, I got my Pendulum Magician deck, I got my Trickstar deck, I got a whole bunch of other meta decks that I can take and go play. If I had True Draco, I'd go play that. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's something I can take to a casual day, you know, or if I want to just play or have some fun with some buddies, I get to play with these decks. So that's the key word here. Now it's broken, but good, playable. I have a chance to some degree. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So, what do I mean? How has legacy support changed since the initial, what we assumed was legacy support? So legacy support over the years was something where an older archetype, mind you, would get new support. This could be something like the Six Samurais getting the legendary Six Samurais, and then later on down the road, they got the Ninja Samurais we just got recently, and Gravekeepers getting their different waves of support, Heroes getting additional waves of support over the years. You know, just standard archetypes getting support. However, Konami over the last year or so, and I think they played around with this a little bit before that, so I would say the last year and a half since late 2016, have played around with a different concept of legacy support. You saw just these deck concepts, these deck ideas, or old decks that nobody ever played. I never had known anyone to play these decks until they got new support and reinvigorate in, you know, juices. They gave the decks, they went back to broken decks that never were played and made them playable because they were anime archetypes, anime decks. It makes me interested to see what other anime decks we're going to see pop out, just become better over time. So what do I mean? The first instance of this is the Destiny board field spell that we got. Destiny board, back in the day it was played a little bit. People that want to have funs and, you know, have laughs and giggles over the years used to play it for fun. But with the field spell coming out, that changed that. It made the deck playable. Not broken, but it gave it a better win condition. Helped it along, like they did with Exodia. Nobody thought Exodia was going to become its own archetype. And alas, it kind of at the end of the day did. I mean, yes, we had Exodia Necros, but that was, no, that wasn't an archetype with just the 5 pieces. But with the new support, with its own trap card and another monster, yes, it can be kaiju, but it's become more of an archetype, hasn't it? So you start to see them playing around with these concepts, these ideas, and then we really started to notice this, especially with the new duelist set we got back in September. You saw Legendary Ocean becoming a full-fledged archetype, or more specifically, Legendary Ocean with Legendary Fisherman. You also say Cyberdarks, like, I try to think here, who the heck was playing Cyberdarks before the new support came out? That was considered one of the worst archetypes ever in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And now, sorry for the background music, now it is playable for fun. You also saw Roids get support? Like, who plays Roids in 2018, 2017? I don't think anybody did before that. Like, maybe not still, but, you know, it's at least more playable than it was. You know, and then we saw Red Eyes get its generic support, and then recently we saw Relinquish and Thousand Eyes Restrict get revamped versions of their older selves, which is amazing, and now they're a full-fledged archetype and quote-unquote deck. Now you also see Insect Queen, you see insect support, generic insect support that you can actually put together to form kind of like a Weevil Underwood type of deck, like an insect-based deck, which that's awesome. So we're starting to see this kind of like callback to older decks out there. You also see recently we also had as well with the insect, we saw a the first really, I think, playable coin flip deck in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, what do I mean by that? Yes, we had the Arcana Forces and all that stuff back in the GX era, and throughout there's been little coin flip mechanics here and there, and dice roll mechanics like 6 cents throughout the years of Yu-Gi-Oh! But this one actually, which is really cool about it, is you actually can hedge your bets. And what I mean by that is if you use the trap card with Foolish Burial Belongings you sent to the grave, I can hedge my bets to get my 3 heads in a row to get my effects off. You're starting, and it's a mechanic. It's like actually a legit gambling mechanic, a luck-based mechanic that actually you can hedge your bets against, which is something the deck worked perfectly with. Like, it's a Bandit Keith strategy through and through. There's nothing to it. Machines and luck-based things, right? Hedging your bets, cheating, cheating, quote unquote. So that's something really cool. That's how Konami's like evolved legendary support, legacy support, and just over the course of the last year, I've noticed, from just, okay, standard dot archetype, get standard support, to this theme, this concept, this card, or range of cards that really doesn't work together. We're going to now make it into a full-fledged archetype that is playable. You start to see that develop more. I'm hoping for the future, we start to see Konami continue to do this. Some archetypes I would really, really love to see a full-fledged archetype of is things like the Egyptian gods, which Konami has played around with it. I mean, I've put it together, but I want to see some more stuff. With True Name, Mound of the Bound Creator, Ra's Disciple, those are all anime cards. And they started making anime cards into the original, the card game itself, and then they started, you see where they went from that, and from 2015 to 2016, they went into making their own cards, like revamping old cards, giving them new effects, quote unquote. But I'm hoping they do that. They make the Egyptian God archetype, Yubel archetype, the Earthbound Immortal archetype. There's so many different old school archetypes out there that haven't got love in so long. Like, wouldn't it be kind of cool to get a new Venom support for the Venom Monogamos and all those boys? That'd be cool. Like, there's so many old archetypes that got left in the dust because they got power creeped and they haven't gotten support in 10 plus years or 8 or 6 plus years, and they're just not playable, or nobody even played them back then because they were that horrible. Konami's revamping them, I notice. And I'm hoping that in the future we continue with these legendary duelist sets and we continue to see this evolution of old archetypes, different themes, different characters, upgraded support, because I think it allows for more creativity in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! For fun deck building, which is awesome. Some of the cards that you saw recently, like in the Legendary Duel set we recently, they can be played in the meta. They're like the Cocoon of Evolution. Can you imagine that thing out when Insectors were ruling supreme back in 2012, 2013? That'd been crazy, that card, Cocoon of Evolution. And people still play the Thousand Eyes Restrict card as the instant fusion target to do things right now. So they have some of them have competitive availability, but you can play them as an own archetype, which is cool, by adding other cards to the mix. So I'm very happy that Konami has decided to do this. I hope they continue to do it. I can't wait to see what they take this idea to the next level by creating a lot new, like older different characters out there with new support. Like a lot of the original characters from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Show, you've always seen support for them. Weevil, Rex with dinosaurs, technically. Like, you understand where I'm trying to go with this. And I hope we continue to see more support. Some other things I'm just going to throw out there I'd really like to see. Like I said, Yubel, the Earthbound Mortals, Egyptian Gods, the big things. Nordics would be cool to see more Nordic support, because we haven't gotten any good Nordics since the original Nordics came out. Like, it would be nice to have just a couple more easier ways to go into the, Azir monsters, I believe that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on it, guys. I'm going to end the video here now, but I just wanted to explain how Konami how their development of what is considered legacy support, and how they're redefining it over the last year or so, which you may have noticed, and how I hope they proceed forward with it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Do you like Konami doing what they're doing with all this new legacy support they've been giving out lately? And just giving new twists on older archetypes that were never playable, and what archetypes would you like to see support for. And until next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. I'll see you guys later, and I look forward to seeing actually what decks you think should get support with in maybe the next Legacy Duelist set. Which era should they cover next? Should they cover the 5Ds era? Should they cover the GX era still? Should they go to Zexal eventually, which I think they may do that. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts down below. And take care till next time, guys. I'll see you next time.